Welcome, Mama, to Mom News. This is your weekly 3-minute roundup of all of the news in politics impacting moms and all moms. I'm Sam, and if you find this helpful, please share it with your friends, your mom circle, your family, because if knowledge is power, then just moms deserve it too. But this news will always be about moms and how it impacts moms. Starting off with something you may have already heard of, the One Big Beautiful Bill. This is a sweeping Republican bill that has some things that look good on paper. For example, the bill proposes permanent tax credits for childcare up to $2,500 per child, which is a boost to the current tax credits. It proposes permanent tax credits for paid family leave. Yet this bill does pose a pretty big economic risk, according to experts. That the bill would add $2.6 to $3 trillion to the national deficit, while the White House states that it would add a savings of $1.7 trillion. A statement that Senator Ron Johnson deems as misleading. Additionally, the bill would slash Medicaid, cut federal food programs such as SNAP, and roll back clean energy incentives, with a $75 million boost to ICE. Currently, this bill only has an approval rating of 23% from the American public and politicians. Why should moms care? Because yes, it includes tax credits for childcare and paid leave, two things we are fighting for. But those gains are undercut by cuts to health, cuts to food support, and long-term economic risks, all that would have an impact on the most vulnerable populations. Next, on June 14th, former House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband were killed in their home in a political attack. Speaker Hortman died protecting her 12-year-old daughter. Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were also shot in their homes. The shooter, Vance Luther Bolter, was disguised as a police officer and carried a manifesto listing 70 Democrats that he was targeting, along with abortion activists. There's a lot of misinformation going on right now about Bolter, such as the fact he was appointed to a board by Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, leading some to believe that he was a Democrat attacking Democrats. Bolter was appointed to a board in Minnesota by former Governor Mark Dayton, but was reinstated by Walz in 2016. However, this was a bipartisan board and has no reflection on Bolter's political affiliations. Bolter was captured after a 43-hour manhunt and is being called a political attack by law enforcement. According to immigration advocates and attorneys in LA, having children, even nursing children, is no longer an exception. Many mothers, many with no criminal record, have been detained under Trump's executive order. In LA alone, over 300 families have reported sudden deportations in the last 2 weeks. And lastly, a piece of good news: the new Supporting Healthy Moms and Babies Act is a bipartisan effort to reduce or even eliminate the cost of childbirth. It requires private insurers to cover prenatal care, labor and delivery, postpartum services, and even maternal mental health, with no copays or deductibles. On average, families